Hey all you fine folks out there. I decided today I'm going to bring you a Canadian movie. This is Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy. So basically the name of the movie is Brain Candy, and it's brought to you by the Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall were a comedy troupe back in the 90s. Basically Canada's answer to Monty Python. Something about Kids in the Hall reminds me of Monty Python in that you only have your five main guys, but they play all the characters. Now, I used to love that show. It was one of the funniest things on television, and I was so proud that, this is a Canadian show. This is made by Canadians for Canadians, and it's very clever humor, a little more so than just your outright silly Monty Python sort of stuff, but kind of... there is some silly stuff in it, of course. It's comedy. So anyway, the movie, Kids in the Hall, Brain Candy, was an attempt to bring the Kids in the Hall to the big screen. I don't think it was quite as successful as they were hoping. It's not like that was a flop or anything. But still, to watch the movie, it's actually a pretty good movie. It's basically about the pharmaceutical industry and how insane and crazy that is. You have a scientist who invents this wonder drug that just reduces depression, cures depression basically, and everybody's super happy all the time, and he makes a happy pill. And it's all about the process of the marketing department finding out about this and, well, how do we spin this? How do we sell this? And how do we basically get all the rights away from the actual designer of the drug, even though, it's kind of found out that not enough testing was done because people tend to slip into a coma after they've been taking this drug for a while. Characters are hilarious in this. You have Kevin McDonald is the main character. He's a scientist that invents this drug. Bruce McCullough plays this death metal rock star, heavy metal rock star. He's kind of like Danzig or something, but he's all dark and depressing and poetic, and then he ends up taking the drug, and that makes for a pretty funny scene later in the movie. You have Scott Thompson, who plays a closet gay suburban husband, and he gets away with some of the funniest jokes in this. He also plays Patient Zero, which is this older lady and she just reminds you of somebody's old Canadian aunt or something like that. Just an old lady. Maybe your grandma back in the day, I don't know, but of course you get some funny lines in there too. Then you got Mark McKinney. Mark McKinney's the boss, the billionaire guy, CEO that runs the company. He's evil, but he's an idiot. So he has all his lackeys and minions around him. One of his minions is Dave Foley, who's the marketing department guy. He's the head of marketing or something. And anyway, big business guy, but he's the right-hand man to the CEO. And he kind of, manipulates the scientists to come up with this drug and to market it and stuff like that. And of course, the scientist becomes famous because he invented this crazy drug that makes everybody super happy. And it's just the greatest thing in the world. And they try and manipulate him, and they try and, of course, steal all the rights from him. It's a pretty clever storyline, actually, and it shows us just, how ridiculous that whole big business aspect of pharmaceutical industry is, and also how it impacts regular people, kind of how weird regular people's lives already are, and then you give them this crazy drug and hilarity ensues, right? So anyway, yeah, I found it very clever. There's some good gags in there. Yeah, but the best scene, I think, has to be Bruce McCullough when he's the metal guy. And then he ends up taking the Gleamanex, which is the name of the drug. And he comes out on stage with an acoustic guitar, and he starts singing about rainbows and flowers in his hair and laying down in the grass and loving life and blah, blah, blah. And it's just this super boring, weird ass folk song. He's singing in front of this mosh pit of people, and I just thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, this movie has kind of a built-in for me, because I've always liked Kids in the Hall, and I still go back and I watch those old episodes once in a while of their improv stuff, and when they were on CBC regular basis. So overall, I would give Brain Candy a B+. Because I enjoyed looking back on this film. It was good to see the Kids in the Hall again. It had been a while since I've seen the show, so getting back into it really makes me want to watch the show again. I think it's a good, solid comedy, and I gave it a B+. Go Canada. Until next time, don't forget to take your brain candy, and have a good one.